I have never seen a video on this boy on YouTube, so I'm gonna throw my hat into the ring. And well, this is the Dragon King. I want to lie and say that this subclass is very customizable and plays many roles during the level, but it really just does big fire damage, and who doesn't want to see numbers go up because of big fire damage? I know I do. It's my favourite class in the game, of course I want to. But I'm still working on my own Dragon King even to this point. And you know, it's the Skyer. It takes a bit of time. You know, game's long, grind's big. But a quick overview. The Dragon King is a monster unit that specialises in physical single target and multi-target fire damage. Also, being a monster unit, it doesn't get weapon skills, unlike human classes. But its normal skills ain't bad, but it just less damage overall than other human classes. But that's a monster problem. I'm not gonna linger on that for long. Now for the Dragon King's 4 unique skills. The first skill, Burning Clap, is a single target fire elemental attack, which is good for picking off, you know, survivors that might survive the big flaming dragon, or mummy. The only bad thing about it though is its range, but we can pass that up for now. The second skill, Blazing Breath, is a fire elemental attack which attacks in a cross shape 2 spaces away from you. It's one of your 2 range options, but I would say it's the best one, aside from the animation being less compared to the final one, but we'll get to that in a bit. The third skill, Spiral Flame, is a... Now, you know what, I'm not gonna keep telling you what element this attack is, because if I say fire one more time, I think I'm gonna have a stroke. But it's an attack that, it attacks in a cross around you, meaning it's better and a stronger version than Blazing Clap. That only spends a bit more SP, but that doesn't really matter because of the fat scran you're going to be eating for the SP and health. And for the final skill, Flame God Dawn is a elemental attack that attacks in a straight line column in front of you. And other than having such a cool animation, there is nothing special about this attack. I really wish that the Skyer did more stuff with the attacks. Like, I wish after doing this attack, I would have a fire buff for 3 turns, but that would turn to Skyer into a game like Genshin, and I don't want that. There's nothing worse than Genshin Impact, but back on topic. Now, we're going to talk about the abilities that the Dragon King learns naturally and what other classes can utilize them. Spoilers, it's mostly going to be the Magic Knight, but I'll go more in depth later on, I promise. The first and most important ability that the Dragon King gets is Anti-Element. It decreases the fire, wind, and ice resistance of adjacent units by 30. It doesn't sound that good. Oh, it's just fire. Wow, it only attacks with fire. But the wind and ice resistance is good for certain, you know, subclasses like, again, the Magic Knight, which utilizes fire, wind, and ice, and star, but it doesn't reduce star damage, so it's okay. Next is Protection Break. After performing an elemental attack, decrease the target's resistance to that element by 20%. Lasts for 3 turns. Again, it's just a flat-out damage buff. I don't know what else you want. Like, it's just a damage buff again, so I guess the Magic Knight can also use it because, you know, big damage. Next is Elemental Charge. It increases the damage dealt by elemental attacks by 5% per every skill used with that element. So with Fire King, it's easy, you just spam fire. I wouldn't say the Magic Knight could use this the best because you have a lot of different attributes with a lot of different skills. And I don't think you just want to be spamming fire attacks with Magic Knight. That's the point of Magic Knight. You have to hit weaknesses that certain classes can't hit. So that's why you use it. But Anti-Element, Protection Break, Elemental Charge, it either weakens the opponent's resistance and both Protection Break and Elemental Charge boost your damage. So I don't see a complaint. I would rather have a buff than a weakness. So thank you to these abilities to making this class so funny, and also the Magic Knight, I guess you get a pat on the head. Yeah, yay! Now time for the 2 other abilities that the Dragon, King gets, but I didn't want to talk about because they're really gimmicky, but I'll talk about one kind of in depth later, I guess, if it has to come down to. So there's 2 other abilities. The first one is Crush. It works well with another ability that, gives you 25% chance to shrink with a normal attack. But if you're using a normal attack, that means you're not using a fire element attack, meaning you're not going to get the buffs that you get from the other abilities. But, Shrink ain't that bad. Like, Crush isn't that bad as an ability. You do 100% more damage to shrunk targets, but it's kind of with a gimmicky set, unless, I guess, I'm not sure, I might have to fact check myself. I think the Sorcerer gets an ability or spell that shrinks, but I don't know if it's 100% or 50%. but yeah, I ain't using it. And then ruling protection is, I'm not gonna talk about ruling protection. If I was talking about ninja and kunoichi, I would bring it up, but all ruling protection does, it's just a not a good skill, I would say. 50% evasion if the opponent is above 50% HP. Yeah, nah, it's not for a Dragon King, I'm sorry. The Dragon King needs damage. This is ability that takes away the potential for damage, so I would never use it. I'm so sorry, but this terrible ability, but I guess it can work. But yeah, if I do a Ninja Konoichi video, you can expect to see that, I promise. So now we're going to talk about abilities that can work really well from other subclasses with the Dragon King. So first we're going to talk about two abilities in one. Yeah, I know, very special occasion. We're going to clump these two together because they kind of have the same role, same purpose, and they kind of work well with each other. And I haven't tested them on the Dragon King, but this is a theory. So Fury from the Martial Artist and Rage Charge from the Bear. Fury gives a 25% damage at like buff during the counter state, and what Rage Charge does, it gives you 5% damage for every attack you receive, which is permanent throughout the level. So if I like walk in and I go close to someone, I slap them, and then they slap me back, that counter that I'm about to do is going to do 25, but they've hit me, so then I get 5% boost, so that's 30, and then I'm going to hit them again with 30, and they're going to hit me again, which is going to reach to 35, and then you kind of see the pattern, it keeps going up by 5%. I haven't tested this out personally. I wish normal attack was 5 element, so it would have like boosted my overall abilities, but you know, I can't want the world in it. I have to be grateful for something. Next ability is my favorite one because it's so simple. It's one of my favorite abilities in the entire game. Well, probably one of my favorite abilities in like game history because of how simple it is and it's funny. So Wild Cry is from the Warrior. So what Wild Cry does is you just gain 15% stat buff if an opponent is next to you. Like that's it. But that works well with anti-element because anti-element is if I'm adjacent to someone, then you know what happens? Then they lose their resistances. Well, they don't lose it, but they lose like 30%. Which, if you couldn't tell, that's going to lead to a lot of damage, especially with the other ability that are boosting stats. But let's talk about a funny situation. So imagine you're using Dragon King, right, and you get just circled. Like you're surrounded by 4 other characters, right? And you're like, oh my god, what do I do now? So you're surrounded by 4 people. You're in the middle, so it's like in an X pattern. Spiral Flare attacks in an X pattern, so you can attack each one of them. And because there's 4 of them around you, you get a 60% buff. So a 60% buff in all your stats, Spiral Flare, that's going to attack everyone. That's big damage. That's big damage. Everyone's dead unless they've got a super fire resistance, but they're not going to because anti-element slices that resistance down, so they're dead. So it doesn't matter, but I'm going to stop talking about Wildcry because I'm going to bring up Wildcry with a lot of melee characters in the future, and I kind of wish to elaborate more on this ability when I go into more melee characters. So for now, I'm sorry, but I really love this ability, but I'm going to stop talking about it for now. It's very funny though, very funny ability. It's one of my favourite abilities ever. But anyways, the last ability I'm going to talk about is Predation. Predation? I don't know how to pronounce it. I pronounce it Predation, but it's the zombie's unique ability. When attacking, you recover 10% of the damage that you dealt. So I'm sorry, this stutter go crazy. Blah, 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 blah. I'm turning into a zombie. So when you attack, you recover 10% HP for the amount of damage you've dealt. So you're doing big damage anyway. Sustain, self-sustain is not bad. Of course, I don't think anyone would like sustain. So yeah, that's really enough to talk about. But those are the unique abilities that caught my attention. There's normal abilities, but I don't feel like talking in depth about them. So I'm just gonna probably show them. Future Raigon just plop a bunch of common abilities that work well with the Dragon King. Don't go in depth, but yeah, that's all. I might talk about more if I ever do a sequel to this video. I'm gonna like talk about more abilities, or in the description I might just leave a list. But yeah, these are the ones that caught my eye and stand out the most. And yeah, that's really it. That's my first video ever done on Disgaea while talking about a subclass, and you know, it could have been better. But yeah, but I'm doing this recording after like watching over the footage, and there's some mistakes. You know, the stuttering went crazy. I speak a bit too fast, but I think I was just excited because I was, you know, my first video, and I was like, yo, Jiffy, I get to talk about this class that I really like in depth. And yeah, but there's probably not going to be a video for like a while because yeah, this takes a lot of effort out of me. Not really effort, it's just I'm not really good at editing. I'm still new to this, and I'm gonna try my best though. The next video that I release, it will be better, I promise. I'll do like a poll on Twitter to see what class you want to see. I'll ask a few friends to help that really like Disgaea. But yeah, but thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe and like, and yeah, just have fun in it. I'm so sorry, this is my very first video. I'm not really sure how to end the video, but hope you have a good day. Play Disgaea, and just leave a comment or something. And yeah, thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.